So I've just brought our skeleton in, who his name is Fred. I'm going to pull him back a little bit just so you can see. Here's the front of his pelvis. So as we go through, you might even touch your hip a little bit so you can feel. So crest of the hip. Okay, so on each side, you have two bones. Here's your ilium. You can feel it, right? Here's your other ilium. Your pubic bone in the front. Okay, so pubic bone, yeah. Front of the hip bone. Okay. Then we're going to turn Fred around. I know, he's a little unstable these days, so I'm trying to be delicate with him. We already lost the bottom part of his jaw this morning, so we're trying to be really delicate. Okay, so here in between the ilium is your sacrum bone. Yeah, and so it's got a curve, and at the very end is your tailbone. um, you can break your tailbone, yes, if you fall on it hard enough. Yeah, and so this is a lot of the time I'll say it's a triangle shaped bone. So it's a downward triangle, and at the very end is your tailbone, right? Okay, so if you want to come around, you can come closer if you want. Can you guys see this okay online? Should I bring him a little bit closer? Show your booty. He's okay. He's given consent for this whole experience. Okay, and so at the very bottom of your ilium on each side, here is your sit bone. It's called your ischial tuberosity. You've got two. Yeah, ischial tuberosity. Say that 5 times, right? Okay. So I want you to notice, oh, can you feel? Okay, because I talk about these a lot. And so I just wanted to pause today to go, here's your sit bones, here's your tailbone, here's the downward pointing triangle. This ilium, your two sides, and your sacrum are held together with ligaments, which is part of your connective tissue, which is part of your fascia. So sometimes your hip muscles that attach and grow out of the sacrum and wrap around and attach onto your greater trochanter bone. So here is the ball of your hip in your socket on the outside of your hip. Okay, so I'm going to stand up. This is your greater trochanter bone, so you can feel it on you. There's mine right there. Okay, so here it is here on Fred. Greater trochanter. So your abductor muscles wrap around and attach here. We're going to be working on releasing these today, opening the pelvis, widening it. Okay, sometimes when we get really tight in our abductors and we find we're externally rotating our thighs, okay, that means when your toes are pointing outward, right? Yes, so we might have one leg that does this and one leg that is in alignment, which can create havoc up and down the body. So we have unevenness. So we're going to look at balancing, but I wanted to, open this area. And when I say widen your sit bones, you might notice, oh, I tend to clench my buttocks and pull my sit bones together and maybe tuck the tailbone under. You'll also lock your knees at the same time. Yes, you're doing it right now, Sally. Yes. So you're familiar with this posture, right? Okay. And so I want you to create space here today. I want you to think of widening there today. So I wanted to just give you a little anatomical realization of what I'm talking about. And then as I turn Fred around, hopefully I can show this a little bit better. We're going to think of our spiraling. And Gloria, you're familiar with this spiraling, right? And so anatomically, let's see if I can do it. Okay. A group of muscles and fascia, muscles, fascia, myofascia. Okay, so muscles and fascia work together. They're not independent of one another. We have the occipital muscles that come down from the base of the skull. They come down and attach through your neck and they go through your shoulder blades. Then they crisscross here and they wrap under the shoulder blades. They come around on the side of your rib cage, which is called your serratus anterior muscle. So when you breathe into the side of your ribs, do you feel your rib cage widen? Okay, that's your serratus muscle. It goes from your first to your ninth rib. It expands, it protracts your shoulder blades, which means it widens them. Okay, it wraps around and then it does a crisscross in front of the body. Okay, so if some of us have an external rotation and a forward tilt of the pelvis, a rib cage that likes to jump forward, we're going to think of, yeah, so it might be a lot of us, right? I know it's me. Okay. Yeah. So I want you to touch the front of one hip, okay, and one side of your lower rib. So I'm touching it on Fred. I've got his right anterior superior iliac spine and his left rib cage. And you're going to lift up from this side that you're touching. So if you're touching right hip bone, you want to lift right pubic bone, right? Not the hip, the lower belly. There you go, pubic bone, lifting as the rib comes down. So there's a gathering here. There's an oppositional gathering. So on myself, I'll show it. So I'm lifting up through pubic bone, lower belly, that's your transverse abdominis, right? And rib cage is coming down. So sometimes we might go, shh. And then we can do it other side. I know for me, I'm kind of exaggerating, but here, I live here in my body. So I have an axial rotation. I have a scoliosis in my body. And so I want to twist. And so for me, I've got to lift and connect to come back to center line. Okay, so some of you might think, okay, spiral line, that's going to work for me today. Widen my pubic bone, that's going to work for me today. Widen my sit bone, lift the pubic bone. Okay, when we lift pubic bone, it starts the lift of the lower transverse abdominis, which originates at the back and wraps around and connects into, and we can't see it so much on Fred, but there's a ligament that goes from your xiphoid process all the way to your pubic bone. It's called your linea alba. Your transverse abdominis wraps around, turns into fascia, aponeurosis, which means a sheet of fascia, and merges into this ligament. So when you pull both sides of your body, it's like putting on a coat, a really tight coat, right? And you pull it together and then you zip it up. Okay, so you should feel this internally as well as externally. Okay, questions? When they cut it, yes, it's tricky to repair, right? So there might be a little fascial adhesion, a little bit of a disconnect, right? Okay. Yeah. Oh, Fred. Okay, so we're gonna find ourselves on our mat now, standing. Okay, Fred, we're gonna hold you there. Okay, we're gonna start with our foot rolling. So I know that took a little bit of time, but I think anatomically, right, we can now understand a little bit deeper, right, on what's happening. Yeah, Fred, he's good. Yeah, exactly. And what it looks like, right? Okay, so you can have your dowel, your ball. I'm just going off camera for a moment. It's getting hot in the studio, so we're going to open up some windows. Whatever you feel you need for your foot rolling. Arms down by your side, let the palms turn forward. Now, with the eyes softened, lowered, or closed, you decide. Take a few breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. Do that a couple times. Each time you exhale, feel the weight descend from the upper body, through the pelvis, through the legs, into the feet, and into your mat. Oh. We can just do a sigh. Some of us like to do a pursed lip breath, right? Where we're pursing the lips and we're extending the exhale, which is going to help take the nervous system when it's heightened and regulate it down into more of a place of homeostasis. So anytime we extend our exhalation longer than our inhalation, we help to deregulate our nervous system. So really good when we feel anxious, right? Overstimulated. Bend the knees a little bit. There you go. Good, Sally. Now I want you to notice as you shift a little bit into your toes and a little bit into your heels, which toes are not connecting? Can you reach them towards the floor? Remember, your toes connect myofascially up through the front of your shins, through your knees, through your quads, into your hip flexors, all the way up into the muscles in the front of your chest, all the way up to your head. Your heels, if you think of them as a circle, connect through the back of the legs into those sit bones. Okay, so if we're pressing the pelvis forward and squeezing our sit bones together, we're shortening back body and overextending front body. So widen your sit bones. There you go. Lift the lower belly up. Feel as you open your eyes, that awareness of down gonna go over the top of the head. So remember our swirl at the top of the head. There's a circle here. And as we move forward on the top of the head, you can feel your head getting higher and higher and higher and higher. And then there's your peak of your head. And if you push up into your fingers and down, if you push your skull up into your fingers and press your fingers gently into the skull, notice what muscles, yeah, good one, Jerry. Notice what muscles engage when you do this. What do you feel? Okay, then you're gonna let the eyes open, the hand can come down. You're gonna press one foot into the floor. The other heel starts to lift without dropping into that hip. So you're feeling exhale, the wrapping, the lifting, maybe lifting up that lower belly and one rib goes down. Maybe the SH breath, that spiral. As you think down, reach up through the top of your head, and without shifting out of your center line, your leg will float up. Take your time. Balancing, finding somewhere to focus. You might bounce a little bit as we hydrate. Fascia is all about bouncing. Good. And then you're going to roll that foot. Maybe on the dowel, maybe on the ball. You choose. God, have you used the dowel before, Jerry? Okay, great. Welcome to the dowel. Welcome to the dowel. Good. Yeah, if only, if we only do one thing and we only just roll our feet, great, right? Because it affects the whole body. Good. Yeah. Okay, so as you roll from heel to toes, pause and start to check in. Maybe you tip your foot up, externally rotate it, and you roll on the pinky side of the foot. Maybe you roll on the inside of the foot, rolling the leg in. So that would be big toe to inner heel. Some of you might even find a spot. I've got a spot in my inner arch that my body just wants me to focus on. So I'm just singling the movement out, shortening the movement in my inner arch. Remember, you can pause and press which is a compression. When we compress, it signals into the muscle fibers to say, relax, let go, unwind. We can also press and twist, which we would call a pin and a spin myofascially. So what that does is it takes it like a sponge. I always like to use a sponge, and it wrings out the water, the fluid, right, in the fascia. And then when you release, it rehydrates and it sucks all the moisture back in. So I like to use the sponge because a lot of us get it. We're like, oh yeah, okay, right? And so when we have holding in the body, so when we find areas that are a little adhered to each other, and we feel like a little bump or something, that's where there's stagnation in the fascia. So which means that it's not hydrated and the fluid is not kind of replenishing. So when we find that area, we can press, we can spin, we can roll to help release the stagnation, let it unwind and rehydrate. Well, actually, the good question. So I'll let people know online what it is. So there's a question, is that the synovial fluid? And so synovial fluid is in our joints. In the fascia, it's something different. It's called hyaluronic acid. Okay. And so sometimes when you buy skincare and it says, oh, it has hyaluronic acid in it, right? So, or it has, collagen, right? So fascia is made up of collagen, which are building blocks to plump up and rebuild your tissue. The hyaluronic acid is what makes it slide and glide. It gives it fluid, so you feel all dewy and succulent and, really hydrated, right? Youthful. Okay. Yeah. The other part we have is elasticity in the fascia, right? So when we elongate in the movements, right, then we should be able to spring back. Okay, so that's why we do very fluid movements in the series with a little bit of loading in the body, because that's what helps to kind of unwind. So if you think of, I always kind of think of a whole bunch of necklaces. Mom's seen me do this many times, and they all get stuck together. And sometimes you try to unwind them and it takes forever. But if you just take them and start to shake them, they start to loosen, and then you can slowly kind of tug them apart. So if you think of the fascia like that, right? If we go in too hard and we're like pulling and we're getting frustrated with it, the fascia goes and it holds, it keeps tight, right? Christmas lights, yeah, right? But if we go in and we start to loosen it, we come in soft and we open it up, right? It all starts to get a little bit better, right? Yeah, you just kind of dangle it and shake it. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So I tried to think of a couple analogies. Yeah. Yeah. So once you're done 1 foot, pause. Whatever foot you foot rolled, take a difference of noticing, how does 1 foot feel different to the other? We're going to take that arm as we inhale, bring it up. So whatever foot you foot rolled, for me, it was my left. So my left arm is coming up. And just see, how does it feel to reach up through the head, down through the feet? Keep your ribs connected. Keep lifting up through the pubic bone. Widen the sit bones as you exhale over. Now remember, if the shoulder doesn't feel good, and it doesn't want to extend, let the hand touch the shoulder. And just feel as you go up and down just to the one side, how is the muscles in the fascia sliding and gliding? What do you notice? You might exhale over, inhale up. Good. And then try the side that you haven't rolled. I always love doing this experiment. Notice what it feels like. It's different, right? It's clunky, some of us are saying. Mine, I feel, is a little bit tighter, right? I don't really feel some slide and glide in areas. Everything just feels a little bit held. Okay, so we're gonna now release other side. So the foot that you foot rolled on is now your stability. So take some time, exhale. And go out the mouth. Reach up through the center line of your body. So think of your body as a whole. Okay, pubic bone up, sit bones reach down. They also widen as that leg comes up. So you're going to notice, oh, one side I have to lean over on. Can you pause? Try to find center. Balance if you want. And then roll your foot. Seeing, what do you feel on this side? Is there holding? Is it in the same place? Is it somewhere different? Breathe. Yeah. Because both sides of our body, most of us are not symmetrical. It would be great if we were. Some of us are, and when we lie down, we're like, oh, I feel even. Yeah. I love Candace, you're like, but most of us, we have a little bit of, asymmetry, right? Where we're not fully joining both sides. Good. So just take that time. Do you want to pin an area? You can just pause and hold it. Sometimes you can pin and do a little compression. So we think of that sponge. Yeah, good. You might stand if you're using a ball and wrap your toes around the ball if you didn't do it yet. Those of us that have a dowel, we can stand on the dowel and just feel the toes open. So we're getting into the transverse arch. You can feel the front of the top of your feet widen. And we get really tight in between the metatarsals. Yeah. You can also stand and pump your heel on the ball, on the dowel. And see, when you're standing on the dowel, when you root down into the dowel, can you feel a little connection up through the back line of your body, stabilizing a little bit? Some of you might not. Check in, what are your sit bones doing? Yeah. 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 So what are you doing, right? Is the pelvis, do your sit bones feel wide? Yeah, the sit bones are reaching down, but the pubic bone is lifting up. Okay, so it's helping to connect front and back body. And then internally, there's an internal lift. Remember, you're zipping up your jacket, your zipper. Yeah, good. Okay. And then you'll know when you're done. You should let that release off to the side. Okay, go back to your second side first with your side stretching. So the foot that you just rolled is giving you invitation of what arm comes up. You're gonna go over, do that a couple times. Check in, has it changed? Exhale into it, inhale up. I feel so different on one side to the other. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna take this now into a forward fold. I'm only turning sideways, you don't have to. For visual, feet hip width apart, find all your toes, your heel, the full circle. Move your dowel, your balls off your mat. Okay, we're gonna inhale, exhale, root the feet down. Inhale, lengthen up through the top of the skull. Feel space come in your vertebra. Exhale, shift a little bit more weight on your heels. Let your pelvis sink back. So that's your sit bones. Reaching back. Okay, let the torso come forward. I want you to come into a right angle. And then bring your weight back over your toes. Try to stack your pelvis over your feet. Let the arms dangle, fingers relax, wiggle them. Reach out the top of your head forward, back through your sit bones as you widen them. And you're going to circle your arms in space. So here's the synovial fluid that we're getting into, Sally, that you were asking about. Yeah. And so the fluid around our joints when we wake up in the morning, when we haven't warmed up properly, is a little bit more stagnant and cool. And so we want to, when we move it around, it becomes a little bit more viscous and gel-like. You go both directions, let the arms do whatever they want now. Maybe they swing. Okay, and to come forward, if you choose to go deeper in your forward fold without pulling from the lower back, you're going to think of your sit bones reaching up towards the ceiling. Your torso will follow your spine. You let your head go. You can even nod the head, a very gentle yes, no. You can let the arms dangle. You can bend the elbows. Right hand can hold the left hand can hold right elbow. And then think of your elbows descending into heaviness towards the floor. That will tug on the fascial body all the way up through the lats into your thoracolumbar fascia, which we're going to explore in our tapping. Good. You're going to slowly, when you're ready, shift the weight back on the heels a little bit, but don't lose your toes. Start to think, sit bones pulling down towards the floor, lifting the front of your pelvis up. Come back up to standing. Your arms reach up if you want. Release, shake it out. Do a few swinging twists at your own rhythm. Good. Really good. Okay, we're going to do one standing pose just to release the shoulders a little bit. And so the one that was coming in was a wide angle. So we're going to widen the feet 3 to 4 feet apart. You're going to turn your toes out so you can even flip sideways on your mat. Yeah, there we go. And then as you descend, I want you to think of sit bones descending straight down, because sometimes we tend to lift them up. We want to descend them down. So if you're looking from the side, sometimes we do something like that. And so you want to reach them down, lift the pubic bone up so that if you're to look at yourself on the side, you've got a plumb line through your head, your torso, your pelvis. Widen the sit bones. Lift up through the pubic bone. Good. Arms are going to come down in front of you. Palms are going to face forward. So we're going to come up as we inhale. Arms are going to come up. We're going to draw a circle. So the hands are going to come up. The thumbs don't need to touch, but some of you might bring them together. That's your inhale. As you exhale, you're going to come down into your squat. Arms are going to come down. Good. Pinkies come towards one another. Inhale. Press through all your feet. Pull up through your inner cord, up through the top of the head. Working internal, external rotation here. A little bit of flow. There you go. Keep lifting your heart up, mom, up at the top of your head. There you go. When you come down, keep lifting up, lifting up. There it is. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm looking around. I'm not moving up and down, so I apologize about that. I'll go back into my flow. There we go. Yes. Aha. Do a couple more. Yeah, good. So we're just letting the whole body become a little bit more fluid as we draw one more circle. End in your down. Good. You feel the difference of that, and then let even your torso come back a little. There it is. There it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of that. Yeah. So bring your feet forward, heel toe, shake them out. I know, right? I know. It's also, we're doing all this bending now, gardening, reaching. What are we doing? Where are we bending from? Did we do swinging twists yet? We did do swinging twists. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, let's go to the floor because I want to have enough time for the release that we're going to do. So feet are parallel, hands at heart. We're going to flow. Inhale. Exhale, release your arms down by your side. Press your feet into the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, go into your forward fold. So we talked about the pelvis leading. Once you're in it, shift the weight back into your toes. Lift your sit bones up. Now bend your knees enough so your hands are the width of your mat in front of your feet. You're going to plant them. You're going to step right, a big step back in with your right, your left into downward dog. Bend the knees a little bit. Press the palms of the hands into the floor. Reach your pelvis and your sit bones back and up to the wall and the ceiling behind you. Good. Breathe into your side ribs. Some of you may want to walk it out, bending one knee, releasing one heel. Might be a fluid walk back and forth. You might just hold one side. Let's take some time to be here. Notice if your ribs are flaring a little bit, you might want to feel the rib cage lower down, the lower belly lift up. Okay, come down into child's pose. Down onto the hands and knees, widen the knees, sink your hips back first, then the torso. Arms are going to come over to the side. Just to feel your side bend as the arms reach forward, pelvis reaches back. So there's an oppositional internally, which filters onto the outer skin. Breathe through the side body that's taking the elongation. There you go. Notice if the body that's elongating, maybe it lifts up and down a little bit. There's a little pulse. I'll show it on the other side as we pass through center. The arms come to the other side, and there's a little pulse that might want to go up and down. I'm just opening my chest and then squaring it towards the floor. Feel opposition. Good. And come up onto the hands and knees once you come back into center. We're going to go fluid into some spinal waves. So we're going to exhale. Sit bones are going to reach down. Keep them wide. Feel your lower back round, the lower ribs in between the shoulder blades separate, the neck elongate, the head let go. Start from the sit bones. Keep them wide as you lift them up. The lower back arches, the ribs, the shoulder blades squeeze together, the front of the chest opens, the head gently comes up. So feel each vertebra come into an interplay with one another. Let your pelvis be the initiator of the movement. The head is the end. Good. 1 to 2 more breaths. Good. Lean over onto one hip. Sit off to one side. Now check in before you roll down. Do I have some props close by? Okay, so notice, do you need your balls? Whatever you're using for tapping. Chin towards your chest. Lift up through the pelvis. So I want you to start in a neutral pelvis, so feet in front if you can. Yeah. Lifting up from the side. Okay, we're gonna just feel as you start to lift your chin, feel like it's on a shelf, reach up through the top of the head. You're gonna just let the whole pelvis, torso, head come back a little bit. See if you can balance here. Gather the rib cage in. Now feel as you pull up through the center line, out through the top of the head, come up to seated. Good. Now take your ball or your block if you want. Inflated ball, 4-inch block, put it in between the thighs. Try that one more time. Arms can be down by your side. You can touch your shins. Keep lifting up through the pelvis. Lift up through your pubic bone. Come back. Some of you may find, oh, I can squeeze the inner thighs. Oh, my feet levitate. If not, they can stay down. See if you want to be in both for a moment. Good. Come down. Chin towards the chest as you squeeze the ball of the block. Let your pelvis roll back as you roll onto the floor. Draw the knees into your chest. Give them a hug. Remove your ball, your block. Rock a little bit from left to right. Take an exhale as you arrive on the floor. Now you have a choice here. If you want to put a chip foam block underneath the pelvis, some of you might want to even explore with the bolster underneath the pelvis sideways, another option. Okay, I'll demonstrate that just for those of you online. You can be here. It's a little bit more height, or the chip foam block, or if you want to challenge your core a little bit, okay, you can put a movable surface underneath you, which is your inflated slow-mo ball. It's under your pelvis. Okay, arms are down by your side. Exhale, become heavy here. Palms are down. Now you're going to press your pelvis, so the sacrum especially. That's the downward pointing triangle. Remember, we looked at that. Your tailbone is at the very end. You're going to press your pelvis, your sacrum into your support. Lift up through your pubic bone. See if your legs can come up towards you with the knees bent, thighs towards chest. There you go. Extend them in the air. Shake them out. Good. Now we're just going to have the knees bent for a moment, and you're just going to circle the legs. So you're going to draw the legs towards you. You're going to separate them, circle them away from the pelvis and back together. Draw them towards you as you exhale. Separate them as you inhale. Circle them away, back together. Exhale towards you. Inhale. You've got to use your core here if you're on the movable ball. Good job. There you go. Good job, Sally. A lot of work, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they do. They press into the floor, right? And they can help. So now go the other way. So as your legs stay together, move the legs away, separate, circle out and around. When you bring the legs back towards you, exhale. Inhale away. Exhale towards you. Good. We're just doing a little bit of core, as we always do in this class. As we load the body a little bit, it also is helping to nourish. We're warming up the hips a little bit more for our flow. Good. Since we're here, let's just extend the legs up in the air. Okay, bring the arms up with them. Palms are going to face one another. Good. Let the elbows and the knees bend. Okay, feel heavy here. Press the pelvis a little bit into your support. Lean your shoulder blades back into the floor and the back of the skull. Now we're just going to let the arms and the legs come towards one another and then away. Try not to let the legs go too far down. Bring them back up by lifting up through center line, arms and legs towards one another and away. Knees and elbows stay a little bit bent here. Some of you know this as canoe pose. It's a settling pose, just kind of shifting up the routine a little bit. Good. Now, the next time your arms and your legs come back towards one another, we're going to do scissors. So you're going to move right arm, right leg towards the torso, left arm, left leg towards the floor. It does not need to touch. Imagine you have an elastic band in between your feet and you're tugging it so you keep integrity. And then pull the legs towards one another with your core as you shift. Left arm, left leg towards the torso, the head. Right arm, right leg towards the floor. And you lift up through your lower belly. Gather your ribs. Some of you are going to use the spiral line. Maybe an SH breath. Good. I'm just going to come out to watch. You keep going. Good. Yeah. if you can, Jerry, resist putting your feet on the floor. Keep them hovered. There you go. Yes, there you go. Good work. Good, Gloria. I can really see you working now. Good. Take another 1 to 2 more movements. Okay, then you're going to lower the feet down. Pause here. Hey, notice, do you want to keep the slow-mo ball? Do you want to pull it out? Do you want to rest on the floor? Take a moment just to be there. Take a breath. Good. We're going to do a little bit of tapping now. So you're going to find your tapping device. So you're going to use a dowel. Some of you use a hand. I like to have a little bit of support underneath my pelvis still. Some of you might just be flat on the floor. I've shifted my slow-mo ball out for the chip foam block. Those of us here in the studio, ours has a black cover on it. So you decide, you might not even use it. Okay, you can bring one leg up or both legs up in the air, shake them out. You're gonna start to tap. So you wanna avoid any of your bony structures, which is your ankle bone, your shin bone. Okay, so you're gonna tap through the lower leg, the outside, the top of the leg, avoiding the shin bone, from the ankle, the back of the ankle, the Achilles, all the way up through your calf, towards the back of the knee, the inside. So whenever we tap, this activates receptors in the fascia that respond to movement, stretching, vibration, jumping, skipping. Hey, they help us feel more embodied in our proprioception. They also help to soften all of our pain receptors. Some of you know this as nociceptors. They help us feel our body, also internally. Now you're going to take the dowel as well, and you're going to push it starting at the ankle. You're going to keep weight and pressure as you slide that dowel up through your fascia towards below the knee. So this is called combing the fascia. So what we're doing is we're releasing any stagnation. So I'm starting in my shin, right beside to the left of my shin bone. I get a lot of holding myofascially right beside my shin bone. So I'm just doing a dragging here. You might go in the back of your Achilles up through the calf, the belly of the calf. You might be on the inside. Good. Take your time. Do both legs. Yeah, good. Most of the pressure, because we're working with the lymphatic system, we want to have most of the pressure going on the up, which is the movement from your lower leg up to the knee. We're going towards the heart. Then you soften the pressure when you go back, and then you bring the pressure back in. Okay, so do both legs, shins. In between combing and tapping, shaking the leg. Tapping is a technique where it brings us back in the body. So sometimes we move away from the body or we disassociate from the body. Let the breath out the mouth. Tapping brings us home. And remember, when you're going into the upper thigh, you can have the feet on the floor and just tap the thigh. You can bring one leg in and go into a figure 4. So one thing that's coming in, because we are going to use the balls today as well, is in this figure 4, you might also feel, I'm just going to move one of my blocks out of the way. So I've just got some littler balls. I tried to get yellow ones so that you can see. You can also put the balls on either side of the hip. So remember where your greater trochanter bone was? And you can put one on either side, just behind it, and tuck it under. And you might rock here on them. You might roll a little bit. You can stay tapping or not. I'm just rolling into them. Good. You take your time to be there. Yeah, there you go. You've got something there. You feel that, Carol? Yeah. So let some breaths out your mouth. Allow yourself to let go. Right? Notice if the fascia wants you to back off. It wants you to shift. Yeah, good, Carolyn. You're still tapping, which is great. Some of you are rolling a little bit from side to side. My body is asking me to do a little bit of combing at the same time on my inner thigh as I'm leaning here, but you stay if you want without it. And just move the balls around a little bit. Notice, what do you need? Remember, you should be able to breathe, and your mouth and your face and your jaw should be relaxed. So if you're tightening and you're pushing too hard in that release of the balls, then you need to back off. Good. You can keep the balls there if you want. You can pull them out, whatever you want. We're going to do a little bit of tapping as you bring the dowel just to the side to the belly with the hands. You're using hands, not dowel. So we're getting into the visceral fascia. Come up through the rib cage, the sides of the ribs. So right hand can tap left side, left hand can touch right side. Come up through your sternum. Okay. Add a little bit of humming if you wish. Inhale through the nose. Bring the lips together. Bring that hum in as you tap your sternum. So humming along with tapping helps to release fascial stiffness. We're also producing a gas, a short-lived gas, nitric oxide in the body that helps to distribute oxygen. It's a vasodilator. It's a neurotransmitter. You let it be there for as long as it wants. When it wants to stop, you just let it go. Some of us feel a calming effect on the mind. Remember, if you're feeling a little dizzy or discombobulated and the breath doesn't feel good, you just let it go. If you want to reach one arm up and tap down through the wrists, all the way down through the forearms, the elbows, the upper arm, you can take that hand and create a little cupping of the thumb and the index and start at your wrist and just sweep down over the arms. When we're doing a little combing here, you can also go back into the dowel, okay, as well if you want to use the dowel. I find the hands just kind of doing a little cupping with the thumb and the index and myofascially helping to bring the lymph back towards the heart. So remember, underneath the clavicle, there's a vein. It's called your subclavian vein. So subclavical. I think I said that right. Maybe not. Some of you will tell me. So it's underneath the clavicle, and this is where your lymph moves back into the cardiovascular system. Okay, so we're bringing everything back up to the heart. If you still have the balls under the hips, you're going to remove them. You're going to roll over to the side. Notice if you just want to tap that outer hip for a moment. Down through the iliotibial band, you might even do a little bit of combing through that area. See how it feels. Okay, if you want to stay down, you can. If you want to sit up for a moment and just tap through what we call our thoracolumbar fascia. So off of our lats, our lat muscles start, actually they end on the humerus bone. They come across our ribs, and then they move into fascia, which is called your thoracolumbar fascia. Then this folds down into your sacrum, all the way into your tailbone. So when we tap here, we're never tapping directly on the vertebra. We're either to the left or the right. We can tap directly on the sacrum because the bones are fused. They're different. They don't have the spiny process off of them, like the lumbar and the thoracic and the cervical does. Okay. You can also tap right on the shoulder blade, top of the shoulders as well. Some of us have a little bit of shoulder injury or something going on with the shoulder. You might even tap through the front of the pecs as well. So you take your time exploring here. Anytime the breath wants to release out the mouth, you go into it. I was doing a little bit of combing through the thoracolumbar fascia as well. You do that if you want. You want to go up. Some of us have really tight QL muscles right on the top of the hip that connect to the lower ribs, especially on one side. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're just releasing and finding a little bit more fluidity. Oh. Okay, so once you've completed that, we should move on. So we're going to lie back down. If you have glasses, you can take it off for this next part. You're going to reach your arms up. We're just going to rub the hands together, either with the fingers apart or together, create some heat. Then we're going to offer our nervous system a little ease as we just integrate for a moment. So heel of the hand on the cheekbone, palm of the hand cupping over the eyes, fingers on your forehead. Try to block all the light out. Exhale out your mouth. Oh. Oh. Let that breath be there, cleansing what is no longer needed as we just integrate here. Feel the sensations of aliveness in your body, which might feel like tingling, a deeper sense of noticing different areas, your breath, breathing you, any space you feel. Sometimes we're focusing on the tension, but I want you to focus on what space do you feel? Let your mind and your body widen, open. Feel the integration from the bones through our deeper fascia, the muscles, that hyaluronic acid that we talked about, which is more in the superficial fascia, which is just under the skin, sometimes called the subcutaneous fascia. That's where we slide and glide. And we've got our skin, our outer layer. Remember, your fascia is your richest sensory organ. It has surpassed the skin. Some of us know this, but we just ignited around 250 million neural receptors in our body. So you might feel a little bit more aware. Oh. As we're pressing a little bit and cupping our eyes, we're activating our vagus nerve, which is helping to calm the nervous system. It brings us into homeostasis. And when we're in homeostasis, our digestive system works better, our lungs, our cardiovascular, our lymph. You release the hands when you're ready. Okay, so you have an option here. If you do want to have the balls just on the outside of the hips, optional for you. One on either side. Okay, so it's not under the glutes, it's just on the outside. So just place them just on the outside of the hips. I can feel just a little bit of the flesh kind of draping over them, but most of my buttocks is on the floor. You can feel a little bit of a widening. Now you're going to either choose your inflated ball or the 4-inch block, put it in between the legs. Arms are going to be by your side, palms down. You're going to squeeze the ball, the block. You're going to lift up through your lower belly. See if you can bring the legs up towards you. Knees stay bent. And you're going to root through your heels, little reaching through the toes. And we're just going to leave the arms out of it as we exhale over to one side. And you might come up onto your ball and just notice, does that feel good? Do I need to pull it out a little bit? Do I not want to have it? Okay, feel a sinking into that one side. As you roll off of it and come into center, point your toes, inhale. As you exhale, come up onto the other side. Maybe notice, I want the ball there. I want to pull it out a little bit. And you're going to flow from left to right. Getting a little bit more into what we call our tensor fascia latae muscle, moving into the iliotibial band. Yeah. Good. If you want to extend the legs, squeeze the ball. This is a little intermediate. We're just leaving the arms out of it today. Then the knees bend, the toes point. We inhale through center, then we exhale to the other side. Extend, roll the thighs in, reach out, find. This is a really good time to find that spiral line, opposite rib to opposite hip. SH breath might help. There it is. There you go. Good glory. Okay, then you're going to bring your legs down. Pull the ball out. You can keep your balls on either side of the hip if you want. You can release it if you want. We're just going to keep our arms down by their side. We're going to lift left leg up. Knee is bent. Toes and heels reach up a little bit to the ceiling, but the knee stays bent. So there's a pulling of the thigh bone and the ball of the socket towards the hip, but there's an opposition of reaching up as well. So I want you to balance out that action. Keep your lower back pressing towards the floor. As you lower the leg down, keep the leg bent though, and back up. Keep pressing right foot into the floor, right hip heavy, left hip heavy, sacrum heavy. Breathing. Some of you might have your hands on your ribs, bringing that spiral connection in, rib down, hip up. You can lift lower belly. You can use SH breath. Just nourishing the hip. So we're loading the hip a little bit by putting a little myofascial release. And then we're doing a movement. So this is called a pin and a stretch. Yeah. And then when you're ready, drop the left foot to the floor. Exhale, feel heavy. Now lift through your lower belly as you bring right leg up. First the knee bent, then extend the shin and the foot. Shake it out. Drop into your hips. You're evenly weighted. Lift up through the belly. Reach down through your sit bones as your leg lowers and lifts. There you go. Some of you know this is swinging gait. Good. Whole leg lowering down and up. Good. Breathing here. Couple more rounds. Good work. Notice, what is the other leg doing on the floor? Is it rolling out? And then you pause. Okay, come down. Just feel both feet on the floor. Do a little wipering into the balls with your legs very gently from right to left. Oh, good. Now pull the balls out. Feel your pelvis on the floor. Now we're going to do the same arm movement that we did standing, but we're going to do it on the floor. And couple options here. You can be flat here, lying in constructive rest, maybe putting a ball in between the thighs. If some of you want to open heart, lift the energy, bring vitality in, you might bring the bolster underneath the pelvis. Okay, this is a supported bridge pose. Okay, so option here, if you want to go on the back nature, this is the time that you can also do that as well. Okay, I didn't grab one, so I think you know how to do it. Stripes facing up, the other one facing down. Yeah, good, you got it. Okay, so either flat on the floor or you've got a bolster underneath pelvis. Okay, take a moment, be here. Okay, if you want any support in between the thighs, you grab hold of it. Okay, let your shoulder blades sink into the floor. Now, some of you might decide that you just want to stay here. And some of you, in time, I'm going to give you an option to bring the two balls underneath the top of your shoulders. So I should have asked you to locate them first, but if you have them just close by, okay, first off, we're just going to do it without. So we're going to reach the arms up, palms are going to face the legs, elbows are going to bend. Arms are above your eyes. Okay, so when you look straight up, you can see the back of your hands. Wiggle your fingers and thumb. Let the elbows bend. Root the shoulder blades a little bit into the floor. Root your feet. Feel the lifting of the lower belly, the reaching of your sit bones as they widen towards the back of your calves. Now, draw that half circle in the air with each of your arms, which create a full circle. So that means your thumbs come together, then the arms separate, the palms face one another, then the pinky side of the hands come towards one another. We're not going to touch unless you feel you need to, the thumbs and the pinkies on either side. Working internal, external rotation of the shoulder. Breathe here. Good. Stay connected to lower body as you move upper body. Excellent. Now, you're going to release the arms down. If you want, you're going to take your two balls and you're just going to place them at the top of your trapezius muscle. So that means that the balls go under, if you want, the upper traps. You don't have to. There you go. Yes. Yes. There it is. Okay. And so you might even just pause there for a moment just to feel, right? Yeah. Try it. Pelvis is on the bolster. You need a little bit of height for this one. Mm-hmm. And you might just pause there. Okay, then we're going to go into chopping wood. So we're going to bring the arms up, palms are going to touch. As you open the palm of the hand, the thumb, the index, the middle, the ring, the pinky finger are leaning into each other, about 30 to 40% effort. Elbows bend, the palms of your hands are separated like you're holding a globe. Some of you know this as Hakini Mudra, which aligns your whole energetic body. And then your arms are going to come down, chopping wood towards your legs. Then your fingers, your arms are going to come up, point towards the ceiling. Then you're going to go a little overhead. Remember, you can take the balls out if you want. You don't even have to have them. Good. I'm going to come out to watch. Good. I'm just off camera for a moment because I'm just assisting. I'm going to show you. Palms of the hands lean. Yeah, fingertips lean. There you go. Now you're chopping down to the legs and up and overhead. There you go. Yeah, now you've got it. Good, Jerry. Yeah, you got it now? Yeah, good, Candace. How's that one feeling? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just got to keep moving the balls around until you find that perfect spot and your body goes, oh, there it is, right? So we're going to be different for everybody, right? Yeah, mom just checking in where you are. I think you need bigger balls, right? Because you've got the half ones, right? Yeah. Does it feel okay how you have it? Because you're kind of down and then you're up because, yeah, your other one's right here. But I know, but it feels okay. So you just do one or two more just because you've got the support. I would say not using the support underneath your head. And just because you're kind of doing like this, right? See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you release. Yeah, good. Okay. And then you can come down. You can pull the balls out. Some of you may want to stay there with the hips on the bolster. Some of you to release the psoas. You might want to extend one leg, both legs, reach down, reach up. Find this is a little arc over the bolster. Yeah, point through your toes. Roll the thighs in. If that doesn't feel good, do one leg at a time. Roll the leg in, roll the leg out. Then, as you finish pointing the toes, you're going to reach through the heel and you're going to roll the leg out and you're going to roll the leg in. I've just done one leg at a time just to show the adjustment, but you can stay with both. If you're only doing one side, do the other. Okay, we're just creating some fluidity up through the body now. Just releasing, just doing a little opening through the psoas. Sometimes our psoas muscle, which is our hip flexor, holds a little bit of fear, it holds trauma, it holds really things and experiences in our life that kind of made this really strong imprint with us. You take your time. If you want to go into an inversion at all, you can always extend the legs up in the air and just pause. If you want to come out, lift the bolster, move it out of the way, go into a little twist, feel free. We've just got a few, about 3 to 4 more minutes here. So you check in. What is needed for you? Do you want to rest in an inversion to release and let the fluid of the lymph move back up towards the heart? You might do that for just a couple of minutes. If you feel complete, you can always remove that bolster as you bring your feet down, pull it out. Take a moment maybe to draw the legs into the chest. If you're staying in your inversion, you just stay there for as long as you want. No rush. Okay, you might decide to end the class there. Okay, if it's not speaking to you, then you come out and you just move around a little bit, listening to your body and what you need. And then just ending in a pose that sings to you. So that might be flat on the floor. It might be with the knees bent. Walking through the studio right now. Just notice how you feel from when you first arrived here. Let the breath have its own rhythm. It might be out the mouth. It might be out the nose. Might be a little bit of both. Mm. The poem today that chose to be shared as you pause in whatever position that you want to be in. I'm in seated. You're more than welcome to join me or stay lying on the floor. The piece today is called Today's Message. Somehow you changed. You're not sure when the shift took place, but now that it occurred, you're not going back. The feelings, the memories, and thoughts that once had control over you are meaningless now. You're in a new space, a new environment where your mindset had shifted and your entire soul has elevated. The magical effects of the inner work you've been committed into, are finally starting to show. As the last few remnants of your old self fade into the background, embrace the incoming wave of energy that is about to take you farther into your journey. The signs are taking you in the right direction. Follow them the way you've been following your divine intuition. We'll take another minute here just to feel ourselves integrate. And when you're ready, just let a little bit of movement come in. What does that look like for you? It might be just starting out with a little wiggle of the fingers and the toes, a stretch, a yawn. If you've still got support underneath you, you let that gently pull away. Feel the ground. Do some movements that your body asks you to do. Find a side to roll over into and just rest there. So if one hip is speaking to you, maybe you turn the other side. Whatever your top arm is, the hand, as you place it on the floor when you're on your side body, you're going to lean into it and rise up. Find a seated position that works for you. So some of you might be kneeling, some of you might be crossed, some of you may feel more inclined to extend the legs and just have them straight. Arms are by your side, palms face forward. Press down through those sit bones, up through the top of the skull. As the palms are forward, you exhale out your mouth. Ah. Keep pressing down, reaching up as you inhale. Reach the arms up. Gather energy as the palms touch overhead. When the palms touch, receive as you draw a line down in front of your face, your throat, your heart, upper and lower belly, and then out to the side. And you're going to do that 2 more rounds at your own timing. And one last one as we pause at heart. Let your thumbs rest on your sternum. If your head was bowed, lift it up. Softly open your eyes. Take a few mindful breaths. And feel your whole body, mind, and the connection to your spirit. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Mm. Being in community is always a pleasure. Thank you all for being